Alright, we are just waiting for a while. It's like okay. Just get ourselves ready. We're going live real soon. So for friends and viewers on Facebook, do join us. We're going to kickstart this live chat real soon so that you can get to know more about local farmers as well. So let me see. Yeah, I think it's on live now.
I think we're live already, actually, Kenny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So well, let's start this. All right. Thanks, guys, for coming. Welcome to the live chat with farmers. I'm Kenny, and this is the second episode that we are doing here to bring you closer to our local farmers. Many have actually asked why are we doing this, because I think for me, I am actually very privileged to be with the farming community for the past 15 years because I serve the Crunchy Countryside Association. And that really taught me a lot about what farming community is all about. I think what's really excitable for me is to really understand as fellow farmers our pain points, what are we going through really ground up as well. So I think today, we are in our second episode, and I'm really happy that we have Malcom on. All right, he's the CEO of Metropolitan Fishery Group, and also people know him as the fish farmer. All right, I'll just share a little bit about Malcom before I bring Malcom on board. I know Malcom since I was in KCA. He's a very different farmer. All right, Malcom started in IT. Left IT in 2008, and then he jumped in to become a fish farmer back then. All right, I think now it's coming to 12 years for him. And today itself, he is literally one of the largest variety farm in Singapore. And at the same time, there is 5 types of largest producers for mullet, milkfish, red snapper, and sea perch in Singapore as well. So I think as the largest marine fish farm, I think there's something that you can actually learn from local farmers. I remember the first video that I was watching about him sharing about his farms was about technology. So I'm going to tag on him later on, what kind of technology he has in the farms. I think everybody was very curious how fish farm can embark on technology. And you'll be surprised where his farms are. I was privileged. He brought me to his farm years back. It's by boat. I can't walk to his farm. Right? I literally have to take a boat and then go over to his farm as well. All right, so Malcom, welcome to our live chat with farmers.
Hi everyone.
Thanks for joining me today. Maybe for a start, share with us why the name The Fish Farmer and what makes you decide to change from IT to become a farmer.
Well, the name fish farmer comes from, of course, our profession. The big difference between a fish farmer and a fisherman is that it's a bit like, in the forest, if you grow trees and in the forest, if you keep cutting down the trees, then finally there won't be any trees left. So what people do is they have to replant the trees. A fish farmer is similarly the same. If you keep catching fish from the sea, very soon you have no fish left. And people realize this, and they realize that you have to replant the sea, so-called, and that's doing farming. So growing fish in the sea rather than keep catching. And of course, recently, the last few years, things have changed. You can see more farm fish and less wild caught fish because it's just not sustainable. And so the word fish farmer comes from our objective, our goal. Our goal is not to catch fish, but to farm fish or to regenerate fish so for human consumption, so that you provide an alternative to the consumer, so that the consumers can choose what fish they want to eat. With regards to my background, so I graduated in engineering in 1988 from NTI. At that time, Nanyang Technological Institute. There was no Nanyang Technological University at that time. And I started my profession in IT. And later on, I took a love for going out in the sea, going out, take the boat, go out, and I met several farmers, and they are usually very old. About 70 years old is quite typical of the farmers in the sea, and so they shared their passion with me, and that's how I got interested in this area, and that's why we got involved. The other reason, of course, is that there were many articles at that time about the challenges faced by the fish in the sea. First is global warming. Second is overfishing, pollution, etc., etc., and increasing demand, of course. So it got me thinking to think a little bit about what I'm doing and to see whether I can just make a small difference in this area.
Yeah, that's really nice, Malcolm. I think one of the key things is when we realize that technology is the key, as what the government has been trying, to go high tech farm, etc. I think you are one of the few fish farms, and I know that your farms is not even within the island. So where are your farms situated?
So we have 4 farms altogether. 3 up in the northwest of Singapore and 1 on the northeast of Singapore. So the northeast is outside Pulau Ubin, and the northwest is outside of Sungai Buloh Nature Reserve, is out on the sea facing the Johor Straits, or in the Johor Straits facing Johor.
And I think a lot of the viewers will literally be very keen to even visit a Kelong for the matter. Right? I think a lot of us don't have the privilege, and for many years we were actually exploring with Malcolm to explore whether can we bring more people to the Kelong, but due to a lot of restrictions, it's not really ideal. But I think I was really one of the few privileged ones that one day we went to this Kelong. The number of people stay in the Kelong is not a lot, but you can see that the amount of fish that they harvest is a lot as well. So Malcolm, maybe let's give some of our audience, everybody loves to eat fish, but there's so many types of fish. I know you specialize in 5 types of fishes, and tell them, tell us how many fishes do you have in your kingdom? What is the bundle that you have right now in production?
Okay. So we grow about 1,000 tons of fish. 1 ton is about 1,000 kilograms. So we grow about 1,000 tons of fish a year, and we literally catch around about 3,000 to 5,000 fish every single day, Monday to Saturday. We work even Chinese New Year, Christmas, Hari Raya, etc., etc. As long as it's Monday to Saturday. We rest on Sunday, but we work full 6 days a week because we cannot tell the supermarkets, we cannot tell the wholesalers, we cannot tell the restaurants that, okay, we take a break for Christmas. It's not possible. We have to keep working. So we catch around 3,000 to 5,000 fish per day, depending on demand.
Okay. So that's a lot of fish actually. I can't remember how many fish do we actually consume per day as well. But let's go to the survival pack that we actually have your fillet that was in our survival pack. I think that's something that a lot of people has asked questions as well. So how fast do you fillet those fish? Means the moment you harvest them, what happens? How fast does it comes to us before they goes to the home, for example?
Okay. So we get not only your order but everybody's order in the morning. Let's say, for instance, I'm supposed to deliver to you on Friday. I have to confirm all the orders by 12 noon on Thursday. All right. And in the afternoon, around about 2:30, 3 p.m., we harvest the right amount of fish based on the confirmed order. And then we do grading, sorting, packing, and at night we bring it to fishery port. And at fishery port we have different customers. Some goes to fair price, some goes to wholesalers, some goes to restaurant, and in your case, we have to deliver that to a processor who will then do the filleting of the fish, and then vacuum pack the fish, and then bring the fish um, to your place at Nifo, Gardenasia, and then from there it gets distributed to the various customers. So from the time that I harvest my fish to the time it reaches you is roughly about what 12, that's slightly more than 12 hours, and then from there you take it on. So we're talking about 24, less than 24 hours, or thereabouts, 24 hours, it should reach the customer.
Oh, that's amazing, right? So friends who have our fillet that you've been buying from us, and we have been watching people cooking them, pan frying them, putting them into soups, etc. Majority of them have given us the feedback that it's very fresh. Now you know why. All right, from the moment that the fish are harvested, processed in terms of fillet, vacuum it, and then by the time they arrive to our grocer, that's the reason why we ensure the freshness as well. And that will be the same freshness that we will be literally bringing to your home on a weekly basis. So I think for the survival pack, we have the sea bass and sea bass and red snapper as options for our clients on a weekly basis as well. So based on fish, since you are the fish farmer, I have something that I wanted to ask you. What's your favorite fish?
Okay, so before I answer that, I just wanted to add one more thing. In terms of mileage, it's far less distance to travel compared to any other fish that you get. We're talking about far less distance. If you're getting from Indonesia, Malaysia, all that, they travel long distances to come to Singapore before you fillet. And if you're talking about even other fish that have to be air flown, you're talking about a lot of miles between, because our farm is in Singapore, and getting it to the consumer, I think we're talking about far less miles, and that helps the environment a lot. Going to your question about my favorite fish, so my personal favorite, okay, so fish, in my opinion, has to be eaten steamed, because steamed fish is so good. Of course, some people like to grill, some people like to fry, some people like to pan fry. That's fine. But me, I like to steam fish for many reasons. One, of course, is it's healthier, and the other thing is the taste. The taste is so good. If you have a fresh fish and you just don't put any sauce, you just cut some ginger, you put just a light little bit of soy sauce, put it in, steam, that's it, and it's so good. So you taste the real original taste of the food without having to cover the taste with many other added ingredients. So the two that I really love is grey mullet, which is you can cook Teochew style. Teochew style is like you add the giam cai, add the tomato, add the this ginger, and you add the sour plum, and that gives you a bit of sourish taste. And grey mullet, steamed Teochew style, heavenly. Snapper, steamed Hong Kong style. And snapper is really, really very soft. It's very tender. Grey mullet is more firm. So if you take the snapper, you throw it into the soup, it will, or porridge, it will melt into the porridge, which is good for kids because sometimes kids don't want to eat the thing, so you just put it into the porridge and then it will just disintegrate it. But if you like the taste of the fish, then grey mullet is a more firm texture, so it won't break up so much. But both fish are really good fish, especially my favorite would be for steaming. So these two are the ones that I love very much.
Well, I think one of the things that friends that have bought the fish, you know what? Maybe I should ask all the patrons that has been buying the fillet from us. What you should do is let's show to Malcom that there's many other ways. Maybe he may be a convert other than eating the steamed fish. After we see all the various recipes that you have done in a pan fry manner, one of my friends yesterday was showing me that he likes to cook, and I think it looks really delicious, and you can see that the fish is really fresh and it's like a wild catch, because he likes to go for fishing as well. So I think that's also the reason why people are getting excitable about different types of fish. I think maybe some of them, they are always very concerned.
They like to experiment. They like to experiment and come up with new recipes and new flavors, which we are very happy. That goes to show that the fish is versatile. Some fish not so versatile. They only good for, let's say, oven bake. Then when you try to steam, it's not so good. Whereas snapper and grey mullet, they are very, very versatile. Of course, sea bass also, barramundi as well. It's a very versatile fish. Western style, Malay style, Hang Mo style, Chinese style, all very suited for such a thing.
True. So just for clarity, for those who are online, welcome on board. We'll take a little break and see whether is there any questions that has came out from our live chat. If there is, I will try to answer all your questions. I think for those who just joined us, welcome. This is live chat with Farmers, our second episode, and today we have Malcom on, CEO of Metropolitan Fishery Group, and it's really an honor for him to be here with us to share with us all about fish. We heard so much about government going into the 30-30 strategy and goals, and Singapore have 3 core. So it's food fish, leafy vegetables, and eggs. So I think having Malcom here will give a lot of you insight of what's in the fishing farm psychic, because it's really not an easy job as a farmer. For many years itself, we are trying very hard to increase our production as well. But I think what needs is really a ground-up support. The more people support local, I remember Malcom was just sharing earlier about food malls. It makes sense, right? Because we are buying it direct, and his farm is just like less than a km away from our island. And straight away within 24 hours, you have your fish right at your doorstep. I think this is something that we should continue to support local farms, and I think that's the reason why, after sharing so much with all about farming, I thought it's better to hear from the horse's mouth, And so that's why today we have Malcom in our live chat to share with everybody what this is all about as well. All right, Malcom, I mean, on a personal note, I think everybody knows about fish. I'm sure later on there will be a lot more people posting their various recipes for us to explore. And who knows, Malcom always tells me, hey, if the recipe is good, why don't we make it into a permanent, ready to cook stuff, You never know,
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, so I think one of the things that a lot of people will always wonder. You have the privilege of a kelong. Many of us wanted to visit a kelong, but sometimes it's beyond us. So do you stay in the kelong? Do you, when you're very stressed, overworked, do you take your time off and tell your family, say, okay, don't see me in 3 days? Or like Bill Gates, he will take 1 month off and go to his little retreat space. Do you do that for yourself?
I wish I could take 1 month on, but that's not possible. Well, of course, we are in the sea. If you want to have a 360-degree view of the sea, that's our place. If you talk about real estate, probably very expensive real estate to have 360-degree view of the sea. But the reality of it all is that a farm is a very hot place. It's hot. We have to work when it's hot, when it's rainy. We can't tell the consumer, sorry, because it's a public holiday or because it's just too hot, or or even right now with a virus situation, we still have to, and even more so because food is very important. The good thing though is that because we're out in the sea, literally you either have to swim or take a boat to my farm. We are isolated from the problems, the virus problems, because we're really far out. So that's a good thing. I don't live on the farm, but I have my farmers who live there. So because fish can't call for help, and when they call for when there is a need for help, then you have to be there. So the farmers actually literally live on the farm and also watch over the fish because this is life, livestock and life, and it's very important to make sure that the fish are well taken care of.
Yeah.
So it's a 24-hour job. It's not.
Sure.
It's not something.
I agree with you, Malcolm. I think regardless of whether you are a fish farmer, egg farmer, or vegetable farmer, or we have all our other fellow farmers like farmer, frog farmer, quail farmer, crocodile farms, etc. It's a 24/7 job.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's not like something that you can stop tomorrow because it's public holidays. There's no way you can do it. And that was actually, something that I wanted to motivate more locals to understand as well. I mean, we have all the frontliners working hard during this COVID. Don't forget the farmers, all right? They are the silent hero out there, making sure that you still have your food on the table on a regular basis. And I really urge that everyone continue to support them, look out for local brands. I'm sure there's a lot more movement coming in as well to support the local farms as well. So I think the key itself is like, today, for those who just joined us, I saw quite a number of new coming into our live chat. Welcome, I'm Kenny, the host for today. It's our second edition of the live chat with farmers, where today we have Malcom on, our CEO of Metropolitan Fishery, also known as the Fish Farmer. And I've been working with Malcom on quite a number of things. One is literally our soup spoon Assam fish chowder, which a lot of you has tried and even really a good thumbs up. And at the same time, Malcom's fish, the sea bass and the red snapper will be part of your subscription pack, all right, which we will be delivering it to you once the subscription hits our targeted number of 500. We will be delivering it to you fresh, on a weekly basis, all right. And I think, Malcom, before we end this chat, my last question to you is, what's your wish for agriculture moving forward?
Well, this virus situation has brought up a lot of issues, and even our Prime Minister has said that many governments are now looking at security of course, because of the virus, but also security for food and security for producing key items locally. So food being one of them. And I think Singapore is very vulnerable, and because of our vulnerable position, I think it's all the more reason that we have to support the local farmers, support local production, support local food, because it's like those small shops. If you just keep going to the big shops, and then one day, when the big shops, maybe because of whatever investment they pull out, and then you have no more small shops left to go to. That's very sad, right? So sometimes we have to look a little bit further, not just only in the immediate. And so food security being one of the big issues, I think it's important that there's a balance. On one hand, it's good to have a large variety of food coming to Singapore from various countries. On the other hand, it's also good to have a good foundation for local production, so that we have both the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Okay, I have one question that came in asking about if I have the fillet fish, all right, how long can I keep in my fridge as in the chiller, rather than, because I don't like it frozen. Maybe can you advise our audience, how long can they keep their freshness, in their fridge?
Okay, so first of all, because it's vacuum packed, the shelf life is 8 days. All right. So 8 days from the day I fillet. So by the time you get to use that, so 7 days by the time it gets to consumers. So 1 week. All right. So that's important. Because it's vacuum packed, it can last longer than if the fish were just plain. Right. Second, you have to keep it in chilled temperature, 0 to 4 degrees, right? The place where you keep your vegetables, fruits, and all that. Then that's fine. If you don't keep it in a cool place, then the fish meat will start to degrade. Thirdly, if you want to longer than that, of course, you can put it into the freezer. Again, because it's vacuum packed, it locks in the freshness. So for the freezer, you can last a few months, no problem. It's not an issue of food safety. It's just an issue of taste. Some people don't like it frozen. We can understand that. So that's why it's vacuum packed, because it can extend the shelf life.
Okay. All right. I think, well, that's about it for today's live chat with farmers as well. But before I end itself, do subscribe our subscription model, which is the survival pack, the local farm survival pack, where today we have the honor and privilege to have the CEO of Metropolitan Fishery Group, here with us to share with us exactly what the fish farm is all about. And we really hope that you will continue to support local farmers, and those who have been following our chat at the same time to join our local farm group. You notice that one of the common tagline that I always use all this while consistently is no farmers, no food. All right. What is important to us is really the growers, the farmers that are passionate about growing food for us to eat. And I think without them, frankly, there won't be any food left for us, even though we're talking about 30/30 or even high tech for the matter. All right. I think with this as well, thank you everyone that joins us. Our Facebook is still there, and keep your question coming in. And maybe what I will do is that I'll get Malcom, if you ever visit back in Skelong, to do a video for us on Skelong, how it looks like, so everybody can see that he's really having lots of fishes in the Kelong as well. And I think we'll envy him as well. All right, thank you, Malcom. Thanks for joining us. And to all who have just joined us and listen, please share this. Have a watch party, get to let more people know about the local farms. And till our next episode, Live Chat with Farmers. Thank you, everyone. All right, support.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.
Stay safe,
Bye.
stay healthy.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Malcom.